What's up, everybody? This is Daddy Mathematics here with another example to explore. And today, guys, I want to go over solving equations by utilizing the quadratic function. Solving equations by utilizing the quadratic function. All right. So with that being said, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to solve this equation. And the way we solve it is we're going to find the value or values of x that can make the equation true, that will make this equation true. All right, now the first thing that we need to do, guys, and once again, this particular equation is a second degree polynomial because the highest degree of x is to the second power. So this is an equation, but another name for this equation or this type of equation is a second degree polynomial because the highest degree of x is to the second power, okay? Now, what we want to do is, guys, we want to restructure the equation in this particular form, right? Which this is called the parent function or the parent form, okay? Where we're gonna have everything to the left side of the equal sign and everything is gonna equal 0, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So we need to move the whole equation basically to the left side of the equation and we're gonna set it to where it equals 0, all right? So in order for us to do that, guys, we have to move these two values to the opposite side, right? And the only way we can do that, guys, is by using its inverse, okay? 16x is basically saying positive 16x or plus 16x, right? The opposite or the inverse of a positive 16x is a negative 16x, which is essentially saying minus 16x, all right? So the opposite is negative 16x or minus 16x. So I'm going to subtract 16x on both sides with like terms. There are no like terms on this side, so it's going to just subtract from 0, okay? And that's going to cancel out. And then the same thing over here, guys, all right? The opposite or the inverse of saying minus 64 is plus 64 or positive 64. So I'm going to add both sides, add 64 to both sides to cancel it out on the right side to move it to the left side, okay? So that's what I'm doing right here. Once again, there's no like terms to connect 64 with, so it's basically just adding from 0, okay? So now, guys, this is gonna be my new equation. I'm gonna have x to the second power, right, minus 16x right, plus 64, plus 64. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then we're gonna set everything equals to 0. Everything is gonna equal 0. All right, so now, guys, we have successfully restructured this equation to its parent function form, okay? And the reason why we want to do that, guys, is because we clearly want to see the coefficients that are attached to the variables of x, okay? And then the constant with its c, all right? So the a coefficient is the coefficient or value that's attached to x to the second power. In this case, it's actually 1, right? X squared is just like saying 1x squared, right? So a is actually 1. So I'm going to put a equals 1, all right? And it's good to create a little key of values because we're going to have to plug in these particular values into the quadratic formula, okay? All right, the b value, right, is the coefficient that's attached to x to the first power, all right? And in that particular situation, guys, this is going to be negative 16. Negative 16, actually, let me make it be red on purpose. All right, negative 16, right? So that's b. So b is negative 16. Okay? But if you notice, guys, in the quadratic formula, we have a positive b and we have a negative b. So if positive b is negative 16, then negative b is positive 16. Okay? And then c is the constant. C is the constant. And that's just the number that's not attached to an x, right? Or a variable, which is 64, right? And also, guys, let me redo the colors real quick because I'm gonna follow this real quick, my bad. Let me just redo the colors. So once again, A, I'm just gonna make that be blue, okay? A is 1. I'm just doing that so I can follow the colors over here, okay? And then C, guys, is gonna be a positive 64. Okay, so C is blue, this blue, okay. All right, I'm just doing that, guys, because I'm following the same colors. I just want to use the same colors. That's why I did that. All right, so once again, guys, we have created a little key of values that we're gonna use in order to solve this equation using the quadratic formula, okay? So now all we gotta do, guys, is just follow the formula, okay? So I have X equals, all right, the first thing is negative B. In this case, negative B is a positive 16, all right? So it's gonna be X equals 16 plus or minus the square root of positive B squared. Positive B is a negative 16. So that's going to be and whenever you have a negative, you have to put it inside a parentheses. Okay. So that's negative 16 squared. Right? Minus 4 times A. The value of A is 1. 4 times 1 times C, and the value of C is 64. Okay? All over 2A, right? 2 times A, which is 2 times 1. 2 times 1, 2A, 2 times 1. All right, guys, so we have successfully plugged in our values. All right, now what we're going to do is, guys, we're going to simplify the function part by part. And the part to always start off with, guys, is inside of the square root, okay? Inside of the square root. So we got to do negative 16 squared, which is basically saying negative 16 times negative 16. Remember, guys, a negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. So let me go ahead and do that. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 256. All right. So that is 256, right? Negative 16 squared is 256. Now I have to also do this side, guys. All right. Negative 4 times 1 is a negative, right? Is a negative 4. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then negative 4 times a positive 64 will still be negative. So that's why I have this subtraction sign or this negative sign right there, right? So let's go ahead and do that, guys. Once again, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. But let's just act like it's just 4. 64 times 4 is, 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. Right? It's 25. All right, so I have 256. All right, so inside of the square root sign, I have 256 minus 256, which is 0. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to rewrite everything. So once again, I had 256 minus 256. And you know, 256 minus 256 is 0, and the square root of 0 is 0. Okay? So understand that, and I still have 2 times 1 is 2, so it's just gonna be 2 at the bottom. So now, guys, we can rewrite it as this. We're gonna have 16, right? Plus or minus 0 all over 2, right? Now, because there's a plus or minus, meaning that X can be 2 different values. It could be up to 2 different values X could be, right? But in this case, guys, because we're adding or subtracting 0, more than likely it's going to just be 1x value, okay? So let me just show you what I'm saying. 16 plus 0 divided by 2 equals 8. Okay? Right? Because 16 plus 0 is 16 divided by 2 is 8, right? Same thing right here, guys. 16 minus 0 divided by 2 still equals 8. Because 16 minus 0 is still 16 divided by 2. That is 8. So x has to equal a value of 8 in order to make this equation true, or this second degree polynomial true. All right? In order for it to be true, that has to be the value of x, okay? And then real quick, guys, I just want to just plug it in just to show you that that's actually true, okay? So I'm just going to start off how the function was at first, guys. All right, remember we had x squared, and I'm just rewriting what I have up here. Remember we had x squared equals 16x minus 64. Okay? Once again, x is 8. So all we need to do is just plug in 8 as x, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I got 8 to the second power, which is essentially saying 8 times 8 equal 16x, which is 16 times 8, because 8 is x. That's the value of x, which is 8. Minus 64. Once again, I'm just showing you this just to prove what we solved, okay? Now, this 8 to the second power, which is like saying 8 times 8, which is 64. Okay? 16 times 8, let me just do that on the side. 16 times 8. 8 times 4 is 48. All right, 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is is 12, right? So that's 128 minus 64. And guys, I know for a fact, because I did this before, 128 minus 64 equals 64, right? That equals 64, and we know that 64 equals 64. So that lets you know that x equaling 8 will make this value true, okay? It will make this value true, guys. So once again, I just wanted to show that just so you can understand why we found this value of x and the significance of it in making this whole equation true. Thank y'all so much, guys, for tuning in. I will upload some more videos tomorrow. Thank you.